of champions. The boxing community is mourning the loss of one of its most respected and beloved figures, Tommy Brooks, a legendary trainer who passed away at the age of 71 after a brave battle with aggressive cancer. The news broke late Monday night when renowned boxing promoter Lou DiBella paid tribute to Brooks, calling him not only a brilliant boxing mind but, more importantly, a great man and an even better person. Wasn't one for the spotlight. He didn't seek fame or fanfare. But for anyone who spent time around the fight game in the 1980s, 1990s, or early 2000s, his name commanded respect. His presence in the gym, in fighters' corners, and behind the scenes of countless championship bouts made him one of the most influential trainers of his era. #### from fighter to master trainer. Long before Brooks became a staple in the corner of boxing's biggest stars, he was a fighter himself. He rose through the amateur ranks with quiet determination, capturing the 1975 National AAU middleweight title, a win that included a victory over a young Michael Spinks, who would go on to become a boxing legend. After serving in the U.S. Air Force, where he also made his mark as a military boxing champion, Brooks turned professional. Though his pro career was brief, ending with a 7-3 record in 1979, it became clear that his real calling wasn't inside the ropes, it was outside them, teaching others how to master the craft. #### the man behind the greats. Brooks' breakthrough moment as a trainer came in the mid-1990s when he guided Evander Holyfield through 2 unforgettable wins over Mike Tyson. It was a career-defining stretch, not only for Holyfield but for Brooks as well. Ironically, just a few years later, Tyson would seek out Brooks' expertise himself, turning to the calm, disciplined coach to help him during the final act of his turbulent career. Under Brooks' watch, Tyson went on an unexpected 6-fight winning streak, a brief but notable return to form during a chaotic period in his life. But Brooks' influence stretched far beyond 1 or 2 iconic names. He was a true teacher, always adapting, always refining. His approach was based on fundamentals, hard work, and mental toughness. He wasn't just building fighters, he was rebuilding careers, reviving spirits, and restoring belief in athletes who others had written off. #### a legacy etched in boxing history. Even after parting ways with Tyson in 2002, Brooks remained an essential figure in elite boxing circles. He went on to train both Vitaly and Vladimir Klitschko, contributing to their technical development and helping shape their dominance in the heavyweight division. His roster of fighters reads like a roll call of boxing royalty. Meldrick Taylor, Mike McCallum, Vinny Pazienza, Charles Murray, the list goes on. To work with Brooks meant more than learning how to fight. It meant understanding discipline, balance, and the deeper mental game behind boxing's brutality. Despite the glitz of the champions he worked with, Brooks remained grounded throughout his career. He stayed loyal to the craft and never let success change his demeanor. He was known for his humility, for quietly giving his all behind the scenes, and for treating every fighter, from rising hopefuls to Hall of Famers, with the same level of respect and dedication. #### a quiet giant leaves the ring. Tommy Brooks' passing leaves a void that won't be easily filled. His work was news, but his impact is felt in nearly every corner of the sport. Fighters, coaches, and fans alike are paying tribute to the man who gave decades of his life to boxing. Not for money, not for fame, but for love of the game. His legacy isn't just in the titles he helped win or the big names he trained. It's in the lives he changed, the careers he shaped, and the quiet wisdom he shared in every corner of every gym he entered. As the boxing world lowers its gloves in honor of Tommy Brooks, one thing is clear: he wasn't just a trainer. He was a teacher, a mentor, and a quiet legend whose influence will echo for generations to come. A quiet revolution in training philosophy. Tommy Brooks didn't train fighters the way most gyms did. While many coaches focused on brute strength and endurance, Brooks emphasized intelligence, timing, and psychological toughness. He believed that boxing was more chess than war. Fighters under his guidance learned how to think inside the ring, how to set traps, manage and serve energy. He would often say, "You don't win fights by being tough. You win by being smart when it counts." Coach transformed not just individual fighters, but the standards by which many coaches across the world began to train their #### championing discipline over drama. In a sport known for lock feuds and press conference theatrics, Brooks refused to play into the noise. He had a strict no-drama policy, both inside and outside the gym. Fighters who trained under him quickly learned that discipline wasn't optional. It was the standard. He kept camps focused, away from distractions, and mentally ready for whatever came on fight night. That kind of environment allowed athletes to thrive. Many credits Brooks not just with improving their careers, but with extending them, helping them avoid the burnout and chaos that derail so many in the fight game. ####A humble heart in a glorious sport. Despite his unmatched resume, Brooks never adopted the swagger that often follows success. When praised, he'd simply shrug and nod, redirecting the attention back to the fighter. He was a master at shrinking his own shadow to let others shine. This humility made him beloved by not only his trainees but by opposing teams and rivals, too. It's rare in boxing to find someone so universally respected, especially someone who trained world champions. Yet Brooks managed to build that respect through kindness, work ethic, and staying true to himself, even when the sport demanded something flashier. #### Remembered beyond the gym. Tommy's influence wasn't limited to the boxing world. He mentored at-risk youth, volunteered at community centers, and frequently showed up at local gyms just to lend advice. To many young people, he was more than a trainer, he was a lifeline. He used boxing not as an escape, but as a tool to build confidence, discipline, and direction. Countless former students have gone on to become